Hello and welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Well, California balanced its budget on time this year, but that doesn't mean that it is a done deal. It's a living, breathing thing, especially when you consider that projected revenues don't always come in the way they were thought to. With us now, State Senator Robert Dutton. He is the Republican leader. Thank you very much for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Give us an update on the state budget and how revenues stand, and are there going to be special cuts because of the budget?
Yeah, this last year when the budget was finally adopted by the legislature and signed by the governor, it had a provision in there for automatic triggers on additional cuts and reductions to programs in the event revenues did not reach their anticipated level. And unfortunately, and that was the reason why we objected to the budget at the very beginning, because the revenue projections were overly ambitious. We have not achieved those. The governor will have to exercise that his authority to make those additional cuts, and that'll probably have to take place here in December, January.
One of the things you were involved in this last session was the so-called Amazon tax.
Yeah.
Now, you did win some points on it by pushing down the line Amazon's need to pay taxes, to get to the consumers to pay taxes on their purchases for at least another year. Tell us more about that.
Well, that particular deal was really kind of interesting. It happened about 3 days before the end of session. I happened to run into Amazon representatives that were in from Washington, D.C., and they were trying to figure out a way to, if there was a way to compromise. And so I became aware of it, met with them. I met with my colleague, Senate Pro Tem Darrell Steinberg. I ran into him in the garage as I was leaving and asked him if he was interested in trying to come up with a deal, and he indicated he was. And this becomes a really good compromise. You got the Amazon and the big box retailers together for the first time. They actually never even talked to each other in 3 years, but it's going to it'll allow tens of thousands of small home-based businesses to continue to operate. Plus, it brings to a conclusion the issue regarding internet sales with regards to Amazon, eBay, and their ability to collect that for sales made to California residents.
Well, the hope is that, meanwhile, the Fed national sales tax consideration will be worked out over the next year.
And that was really the major issue, is that there are some issues with this new age of high-tech internet and the air and everything. We do need to come up with a better federal policy regarding the relationship between some of these various entities that are actually selling goods and products to people, not just in California, but into other states as well.
Yeah, because right now we're supposed to be paying our own sales tax on these
Absolutely.
purchases online, and I don't think a lot of people are doing
well,
that.
it's the honor system. It's our system and the taxpayers' honor. So.
You know, Governor Brown and the state legislature often talk about job creation, Is that something they can really do? And if so, what are they doing to help the 225,000 people in the Inland Empire who don't have jobs? Are they being effective in helping them out?
Well, what we need to do, yes, can the legislature do it? Yes, they can. Now, government cannot create jobs, but it can help create an atmosphere, a job-friendly atmosphere. But the kind of jobs that we need to actually encourage are those in the private sector. We don't need more government jobs. What we need to do is, first of all, stop introducing and passing what we consider to be job-killing legislation, which creates more regulatory requirements, more burdens on the part of small businesses in particular. I've often said, if you can provide enough regulatory relief to the small business communities of California, they're roughly 700,000 in number, you could reduce to where they could just hire one additional person. You could reduce the unemployment of the state of California by 1/3, which would put us below the national average and put us onto that path of economic recovery.
State Senator Robert Dutton, thank you very much for being here.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for tuning in. More HLN next.